okay, dude. It's okay. It happens, man. Just be kind to yourself.
Actually, at the moment, that's the only person that I'm kind to.
What, yourself?
Yes.
No, that's fair. You gotta be. You gotta be.
Okay. Right. Somewhere along the line here, there is an opening image. So what do you see now, Lester?
I still have a split screen.
What do you mean when you got a split screen?
So your broadcast screen is on my one window, and the other half of my Teams window is Oleg. So I don't know what you guys are saying. Oleg,
So-
do you see me in a separate screen?
No. Well,
You
I see
can only
you-
see the
I
broadcast.
I see you in a separate window on the right-hand side, and
Okay,
I
same
just
as me then.
see like another window with a Weekend Craic like background.
Okay. So how do we focus then on just the stream?
Okay, can I not spotlight it?
You can
Yeah, let's-
spotlight.
Yeah, do that. That
Where?
would
But
work.
no, where's the spotlight option?
I'll
See,
do
this
it.
is.
There you go. I've done it.
Okay. So do you only see Weekend Craic now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do realize that this is all Oleg's fault, eh?
Absolutely. I mean, if Oleg had got on his bike and gone around your house, we wouldn't have had this problem.
You wouldn't have a split screen, yeah.
Yeah. You guys are so sweet. It's like,
Oleg, do you want us to bring the podcast to you?
yes, please.
Because that would also solve the problem.
Yeah.
But probably create some others.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Have
just
you
go
got a
one.
green screen, Oleg? Otherwise, this is a non-starter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can take my green screen to him, eh?
No, I actually need to get a green screen.
So
Good
I'm
stuff.
intrigued to see what's going to be in the background today on your side, Andrew.
Oh, it's
Have
very,
you-
very, it's very easy. Well, I tell you what, let's get the episode started,
Should
and
we?
you can see. I'll do the big reveal.
The big...
The big reveal. Here we go, baby. So Weekend Craic, episode 77.
77.
100 coming very, very slowly. Apparently, we're going to change the logo and the theme music.
Is that right?
And
Is
maybe
that
even
right?
the presenters.
We need to get our stunt doubles in. Give them a chance.
Right. Okay. There we go. There's the big reveal.
Hello.
My very well curated background there, as you can see. Can you see anything?
Let's see.
Awesome.
The car is closer to the microphone this week.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Anyway, there we go. As everyone can see, everyone that's watching, which is probably zero.
You're looking quite grey. Are you?
I know. You know, it's Don't ask. Don't ask. Just, I mean,
it's summer there. You shouldn't be.
no, it's the color settings on my camera settings that are a bit screwed because my setup for 3 windows wasn't correct.
It's actually coming out quite well, dude. Like, it's coming out without any issues.
Okay.
Like, so don't stress about it. You managed to get it right in the end, and it only took you 5 minutes, according to my time scale.
Okay. Not bad. Yeah, maybe I redeemed myself just for a moment there. So, how was everyone's week? Seeing that we're into February now.
Yeah.
Are we?
Oh, what?
How
Didn't
can
you
you
get the
tell?
memo?
I'm still in January.
I'm
Like,
still
yeah.
in February 2020.
Guys,
Oh.
I'm just going to jump out, just open up for somebody, and then I'll be back.
Okay, all the action live here
Yeah,
on episode
exactly.
77.
Yeah.
I actually went to the office yesterday for the first time since the 10th of March 2020.
Oh, wow. And how was it?
Empty.
Empty.
I know it was weird because, I have been to London since. This is my London office. I have been to London since lockdown and pandemic chaos.
Yeah.
And it's always been a bit eerie and quiet and not the same as it was before, naturally. But the office is dead. I mean, nobody there.
I know the
I say
office
nobody. It's
is
very
dead.
few.
The idea of the office is dead. I do know that.
Long live the office.
Yeah, no. Down with you. Down with the office. I think I'm going to start a new hashtag this week. It's going to be called Down with the Office.
Get some t-shirts out there.
Yeah, exactly. Available on the
But I think
website, by the way. The merch, all the merch is available on the website.
Can you post the link below?
No.
Come on!
It just felt so professional for me.
Come on,
So-
post the link.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Anyway.
Patreon account at least?
Yeah, I've got one of those too. Never used it. Anyway, so
No,
how was the
seriously,
office?
let's-
You said
let's
it was
post-
dead, eh?
Yeah. You actually went to the office.
Not me.
I went to the office yesterday
Leicester.
Oh, Lester.
for the first time in nearly 2 years.
Was it like Resident Evil type of scene from Resident Evil? Like,
I mean, the
Raccoon
the
City?
handful of people that were there, I didn't recognize at all.
Yeah.
So we've done some hiring and firing in those 2 years. So
Yeah,
it's a whole bunch of new people. Didn't recognize anybody.
Were they like
when I
scavenging?
sat in my part of the building, which was empty. So
Mm.
it was weird. But I think where I'm going with this is it was the first time I opened my I've got a locker which has got some work stuff in it, and I'll open this thing up. It's like opening up a time capsule. It was like, what was I working on 2 years ago? And I was looking at these notes going, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. I didn't write this.
It's my handwriting, I think, but I don't know what this is. And then I go to like page 5 and I'm about to chuck it in the bin, this notepad. And I'm looking at like a to-do list from a meeting.
Oh shit, I haven't done it yet.
Oddly enough, the same stuff is still going on now.
Oh my god.
It's still
Yeah.
on the list.
Oh, that's classic. That's classic.
Yeah, clearly
That's
not
classic.
as a priority as I had anticipated 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll ask you the question. I mean, have you ever done that where you've written stuff and you've kept the diary, and like 5 years or 10 years down the line, you've come across it again, and you've read it, and it's like you can't believe that you actually wrote that or that you were thinking in that frame of mind. Have you ever had that?
No.
No.
I was just picturing, but I was just imagining. It's
That was-
like, if
that
I
was
found
such a-
something, it's like from when I was 18. It's dear diary. I can't believe Andrew said that today. I can't believe he drives his car like that. Oh dear, dear diary. I can't believe we ran out of peanut butter today.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about peanut butter, do you remember our peanut butter
Oh,
runs? Half a load of bread each.
That's scary, man.
Were you guys
Imagine-
like seriously
Yeah.
couple loading?
Dude, in those, like when you're like 17 or 18,
Yeah.
geez, dude, you just like, your metabolism is like going at the rate of knots, dude. Like you can't even keep up,
That's hectic.
And Lester was quite fit in those days, because he was doing his athletics, and I used to do quite a lot of hiking with my folks, so,
I used to do so much
Is that-
sport in
is that-
parallel to each other.
Mm.
I'd
that-
like go from athletics training to squash to volleyball in the evening. It's like,
Geez, dude, can you remember the volleyball? Remember we used to play
Yeah.
on the tennis court at Duvet.
on the tennis court. Yeah,
Jeez, it's not the right place to play volleyball. It's on a tennis
made it
court.
work.
Yeah, we made it work.
Right.
What was that guy's
But it
name?
was
Can
like
you remember?
every day.
Can you remember the one time that we were playing volleyball? And after that, we went to the Duvet Club and we were playing pool there. And
Yeah.
remember, I dropped the ball on the table. And the guy that we were playing against was a guy by the name of Robbie Geldenes. And he stripped his nut because he was on the committee of the club committee. And he was bitching and moaning about me, potentially cracking the slate on the thing there. And the
Yeah.
Oleg lost his shit.
I remember. Because we didn't really go there that often, but I think we stopped going there after that.
I think we did, yeah. Yeah.
What, did you guys get checked out, or like what was the
No,
deal?
I think,
No,
yeah, we won't.
carry on.
Yeah, move along.
Okay. Well, obviously, like you've done so much hiking, like with your folks that you don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, I took a break for like 30 years.
A sabbatical.
Sabbatical. I'll get back to it one day. Never. Yeah. Anyway. So, Oleg, how was your week? I mean, are you?
I would rate it a solid 6.
Wow.
Point.
999.
6.5.
Yeah.
Solid 6.5.
I can't give it a 7, but I'll give it a 6.99999.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, when last did we rate our weeks?
I was last year.
A long time ago. Yeah. Yeah,
No,
I would rate my week at a 4. Actually, I would rate my year so far as a 4.
As a 4.
As a 4.
Wow.
Like,
a solid
are you rating
4.
out of 5 or out of like 10?
No, out of 10, dude.
Out of 100?
Maybe out of 100.
I'm a
out of
4%.
10. Out of 10. Out of 10.
Okay. So, according to our current pass rate, you still passed, man. You're okay.
And I can still go to university.
You can still go to university. It's okay.
There's still hope for you, man.
With a bursary. Oh, no, that's
brilliant.
funny. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. No, it was really cool. It wasn't as like it was productive week, just like overall, but I managed to get a lot of other stuff done. Yeah, it's like the weather was quite good for most of the days. It's only towards the end of the week it started raining.
It was nice and warm this week. I actually swam a couple of times.
I swam every day.
Yeah.
I swam every day. It was awesome. It was
Check
just
Lester's eyes.
swim every day, generally like in the afternoon, because it's like in the afternoon was hot and it was just really nice to go like at 12 o'clock and take a dive in a cool pool. Just that feeling, refreshing feeling,
See, now that, going back to that whole thing of the incentive of getting people into the office. Unfortunately, unless the office has got a swimming pool, they cannot trump my office setup.
They can't.
How's your aircon at home?
Fantastic. I don't like air cons. I love the fresh air that I have while I'm sitting in my larper while I'm working.
Next to the pool.
Yeah, and then when I take
a employment contract that your place of work should have a larper and a swimming pool on tap.
And it's on tap, yeah. And I've got a bar fridge there. Yeah, but remember, I don't drink alcohol, but definitely
Red Bull.
Red Bull is
Toro Rosso.
stashed in there.
Toro Rosso.
Toro Rosso. Yeah. So yeah. But I mean, did you get a lot of rain last night? I think.
Yeah.
Like the whole storm last night.
It actually started raining like in the evening, and then it never stopped. It was pouring down even until the morning. So when I woke up, yeah,
your swimming pool was flooded.
No, but it is full. I might need to pump some water out of it because it's like if we get some more rain today, it's going to be an issue.
You just need to do a lot of dive bombing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's a good time to backwash.
And get water out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of thunder and lightning. I don't know if you had on your side as well, Oleg.
No, not a lot of thunder and lightning, but just a lot of rain.
Sure.
Didn't have a lot of lightning like at all, obviously, and not a lot of lightning strikes nearby. But yeah, in the morning when I woke up at like 6 o'clock, I left the window like open, right? So it didn't close the curtain, so I could see like as I woke up and the sun's starting to rise, there's like this, like fine Cape Town rain falling. It was like, it's such an awesome feeling. It's like, screw that. I'm gonna sleep for another hour.
Yeah. Yeah, Netflix weather, huh? Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about Toro Rosso. I see that the guys are starting to announce when they're going to launch their cars. The new livery and what the car looks like and all that kind of stuff. So that's happening over the next couple of weeks. And then it's a bit of testing. I don't know if you saw that they said that they're not going to broadcast the testing like they've done in the past. So there won't be any live footage or commentary or anything like that, which I think is a bit strange. But anyway, that's the thing. And then, and then the new season of Drive to Survive is coming out, in about 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, in about a month's time. And then it's the new season of Formula One.
That new season of Drive to Survive is going to be so saucy.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, it's going to be quite interesting because Max Verstappen's not going to be in it.
Really?
Yeah.
How? How is that possible?
No, because he refused to be part of it the past season.
You serious?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure that they'll have to include some in there, but I don't think there won't be like sort of any interviews or anything like that with him. I'm sure they'll add the narrative, but they won't. I don't know. Because during the year last year, I saw an article of where Max Verstappen said that he wasn't going to be part of the new season of Drive to Survive.
I don't know how that works. I mean, the first season didn't have Hamilton in it.
Yeah.
But to get a balanced story, you do need the views from both camps. Otherwise, it's going to be misconstrued how things come out in the program.
Yeah, but I think what I get the impression that the teams can choose whether they want to be part of it or not. So it's not like an obligation. It's not like, with a lot of their sort of contracts and so on, they would have these obligations that they've got to do the interviews and they've got to do this and they've got to do that and whatever. For F1, that's the agreement that they have with F1, the company. But this Netflix thing is, I get the impression that they, there's no compulsory obligation to be part of it. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting. We'll see. I'm quite curious to see what it's going to look like because I think we might have said this before, but they came under a little bit of some criticism regarding how they were making, almost like creating stories that weren't there.
Yeah.
And look, I'm all for
causing trouble.
Yeah, causing trouble. Adding some spice. Adding to the tea.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any issue with them dramatizing it to an extent to make it a little bit more attractive. But I suppose when you start creating storylines that actually don't exist, I suppose maybe you're just taking it one step
creating
too far.
rivalries that don't exist.
There's rivalry everywhere. You can't say there isn't.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, dude. Man, there's just so much content that can use for the next season. It's just gonna be interesting.
They need longer episodes. They're gonna need to have double the amount of episodes.
Yeah, it's just there's so much spice, and you need to get Max on board with this because it's. I think the next season of Drive to Survive has the potential to be the best, and obviously pull another 10 million F1 fans, regardless.
So I just want to see here. Yeah, so here I just wanted to confirm. I just wanted to make sure that I had my facts right. So they say here the new season of Drive to Survive will be released soon, but Red Bull Max Verstappen will not be a part of it. The story arc of the 4th edition of the documentary is almost certainly going to revolve around the Dutchman's title race with Lewis Hamilton. Netflix bosses will focus on the pair who headed into the final race of the season on equal points to set up a thrilling end to the campaign. However, it ended in controversial circumstances. Right, okay, we don't want to go through that again. And now they're talking about Massey. Yeah, no, okay, no, they don't really talk about... Okay, so it says here, the win saw Max Verstappen claiming his first title, but he will not be discussing it on Netflix Hit, as he says the way in which the show portrays the drivers is why he's not being featured. Says, I understand that it needs to be done to boost the popularity in America, but from my side as a driver, I do not like being part of it. They faked a few rivalries which don't really exist, so I decided not to be a part of it and did not give any more interviews after that, because then there is nothing they can show. So I'm not really a dramatic show kind of person. Okay, we'll leave that for the last race of the year. I just want facts and real things to happen. Yeah, they definitely did. Hamilton has appeared in other seasons, but it is not confirmed whether he'll be in the later season, which is thought to be released in March. So, I mean, that's quite interesting that, like, if both Hamilton and Max Verstappen are not in the Drive to Survive, but that is the main focus of the season, that's going to be I'd love to know how they're going to use their sort of creative...
Can you imagine if Drive to Survive, if, for example's sake, Max says, like, I'm pulling out, and Hamilton is like, hey, I'm playing ball, right?
Yeah.
And they portray, like, Hamilton as the winner who got robbed. You know how much stuff it's gonna stir. Because, I mean, they can. It's a fictional story. It's like they from the onset said Drive to Survive is based around it, but it's like it's not a documentary, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. It's interesting times.
So if Verstappen and Max are not in it, then it's going to be like a 3-part series.
Yeah, exactly.
Check out our new tires.
Yeah,
Ooh.
they'll only
include
include the 3 races where Hamilton or Max didn't win.
So I don't think Hamilton's going to pass an opportunity. This is like an amazing PR opportunity for him.
Well, look, I mean, the thing is that like, obviously they've been editing this already. So, I mean, he must have had to have made a decision some time back whether he was going to be included or not. And I mean, did he make that decision before the end of the end of the season, the last race, or, did he have a chance to choose it afterwards? Because, I mean, he's been quiet on social media. We haven't heard anything.
The last 5 minutes, I think he made the decision in the last 5 minutes before the race end.
Yes, something like that, yeah. Yeah, so, it'll be interesting to see. And, I mean, there are lots of rumors about whether Lewis is actually going to retire or not. So we'll see what happens there as well. I suppose we won't know until they announce the cars, which is probably in the next week or two.
The next couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's not. I think he's going to come back and try to win the next season. That's my take.
Yeah, I suppose, if you were in his position, I suppose, or if I was in his position, I suppose I would, because I suppose the thing is that I would want that 8th title, because then that makes you the clear leader when it comes to Formula One championships, number of Formula One championships.
Yeah. Does it make you the best ever Formula One driver, though?
Well, I suppose it depends how you look at stats, right? I mean, you can use the stats whichever way you want to use the stats. I suppose just on the face of it, 8 world championships would tell you that you were the best driver.
You had the best car ever.
Well, you see, and I suppose when you tie it with, that Mercedes were the 7 times title winners as a constructor, you can see the two go together. I mean, if Lewis Hamilton had won those championships, but he won in a car that didn't actually win the Constructors' Championship, that changes the picture a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I mean...
I'm trying to think, have all of his titles come from Mercedes?
I think so.
He didn't win anything with McLaren, did he?
I think he might have won
He
one.
did.
No, I think he won one season with McLaren, and then he came across, because remember, Mercedes won 7 titles. Rosberg won one of those. So I suppose you can say, maybe I've got my facts wrong, but Hamilton's won 6 with Mercedes and 1 with McLaren. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was McLaren Mercedes, by the way.
Yes, it's before the Honda days. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, and that team, the Mercedes team, used to be Ross Brawn's team, right? Which used to be the Honda team.
That team.
the
Yeah.
Honda team. So Honda's team, Honda's car that they were designing, putting together, eventually became the Mercedes team. How ironic is that?
But why did Honda pull out? I don't remember the rationale.
Yeah, no, they
It
pulled
was
out
the
again.
financial crisis of
Yeah.
2008, and they just felt it wasn't right to spend all this money on the Formula One tour when the world was in financial crisis.
Yeah. And that's when
So they
Ross
sold
Brawn,
it cheaply to Ross.
Ross Brawn, and they won.
Smashed it out the park.
Yeah, and they won the world championship.
That was like, it was like, it was like bailing out, like literally a couple of meters before the finishing line, that you were gonna win and take.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It was like, I don't know, like a stupid decision.
If
Like,
they'd stuck around just for one more year,
yeah,
they would have won the world championship back then.
yeah,
And then I can tell you right now, they wouldn't have left Formula One at that
Yeah.
stage. Or maybe they would have. I mean, they've just left now, so we'll see. And I'm very interested to see what's going to happen there, because like now, obviously Red Bull's making their own engines, obviously with the IP that they've taken over from Honda, and they've taken over a whole lot of staff. But the other interesting development is that Porsche and Volkswagen have been circling Formula One for a little while. And there's a lot of talk about them being involved with Red Bull and as well with Williams.
wow, interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see. Because, I mean, also, if Red Bull's making engines, that means that they can also, if they had the capacity, to supply engines to other teams. Which I suppose could be good for them, because they would obviously
Well,
be...
the cost of the setup to make the engine is huge, so you want return on
Yeah,
investment.
absolutely.
So if you can make a few more, then brilliant. You've
Yeah.
already got the infrastructure.
Yeah, and I mean, they've actually built like a new factory. It's not like they're trying to make it in the same space that they were doing before.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they've actually built a new factory.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, in other news, what's happening?
I don't know. What's hot topic at the moment in the news?
Lester?
What's happening in the UK?
There's a mixture of more people wanting the Prime Minister to resign.
Bojo?
Bojo is a no-go. Coronavirus stats are still as high as ever. I was looking at yesterday's stats. Yeah, we're still having huge numbers, but then the critical rates are the same. So the trends are still the same. I was having this conversation yesterday that I'm fast approaching being the only person I know that hasn't had it.
That is insane. That is insane.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
Lester, did you get vaccinated? Did you get jabbed?
Sure, but that doesn't stop you getting it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It just
doesn't.
means you have a chance of survival.
But that means that you've done a really awesome job isolating yourself from 80 million Britons. I mean, how did you do it?
Point. I have to go to the pub at some point.
Mhm.
It's I don't know.
Or is
It's
it
weird because there's some families where like the mother and the son would have got COVID, but the father and the daughter didn't,
Yeah.
and they're all living in the same space.
In the same space, yeah. I mean,
So
like, I know
it's-
people
it's
that
weird.
never left the house, but the only person that left the house was their spouse, and the person that was staying at home got COVID, but the spouse didn't.
That is amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing. They definitely got it from the spouse, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, the spouse didn't get it. So, like, how did that work?
Hey, it's like we going into the territory of miraculous conception. It's like, you know, if
It's
if
a
one
miracle.
if let's just check the math. let's check the math here, Andrew. Like, if one person did not leave the house, right?
Yeah.
The virus didn't sneak up on him in the middle of the night
Exactly.
and basically entered his body in some vile way. It's like it was obviously somebody who they saw. Most likely their spouse had brought it, but it was asymptomatic. You know.
It was the gardener.
It was.
Are we still talking about COVID, or are we talking about something else?
Right. Okay. Moving along swiftly.
So the other thing was the Ukraine situation, which is ongoing.
Okay.
Um,
What's your take?
Well, it's still the same. I'm waiting to see how this pans out. We have had jets scrambled a few times this week because we've had Russian aircraft in our airspace.
That's cool, but like I'm really glad that you guys have fuels for the jet.
And then there's the fuel crisis. Not crisis. The price of energy has been announced this week, which is huge.
But
Sure.
what does that entail, Lester? Like, is it like, what is the price of energy? Is it like, are you talking about gas, or are you talking about gas?
Yeah, electric is a separate topic. It's gas.
So what are they saying?
predominantly. Well, no, it's not the supply that's the problem. It's the cost of it all. So household costs are almost doubling for the cost of gas in a year.
But could you give us an idea of like what it is in numbers, like plus minus, like an average?
What? Well, how much it costs?
Yeah, how much it costs. I mean, like we actually have no idea in terms of like living in South Africa, because we obviously don't rely on gas for heating and cooking.
Sure. I mean, it varies. So you typically would pay for your gas and electric from the same provider.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
combined, that's your energy price that you can compare with.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
obviously, there's still no electric price. It's just less because we use gas for heating. So let's see. I currently pay for both of them about £150 a month, and that is probably going up. Now, half of that's electric, half of it is gas.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably going up another 80 odd pounds, 70,
serious?
80 pounds.
Yeah.
So that basically puts you
Per
in
month.
like £230 per month
Yeah.
just for the electric and gas utilities.
Yeah. So it is a massive jump, and
Yeah.
people can't afford it. The cost of living has gone up hugely in the last year, and it's getting to the point where many people in the situation where you either heat your house or you starve. Which one do you want?
That is insane. That's crazy.
So
Man.
there is rebates given so people can adjust a bit. So that your local council taxes are going to be adjusted to support you. You can get relief from the government, which is basically a long-term loan. You have to pay it back at some point.
God.
With interest.
I don't know.
Because
Oh,
if it's
God.
interest free, take it, man.
Because if people can't afford to live,
That's
then
crazy.
It's a problem.
And
So
what
what-
happens? I mean, like a bit of a macabre question, but what happens if you pass away and you've taken advantage of that facility? I mean, do they recoup the money from your estate? Or do they just say, "Oh, okay, it's fine, we write it off"?
No idea. No idea. But I think it's small numbers, right? The cost of chasing down that money.
Listen, dude, we live in South
There's
Africa.
a lot of people that might take it up, but how many of those will die is probably a small percentage. So
Sure,
the cost of
sure,
chasing that money for the small percentage is maybe not worth it.
Well,
But who knows?
you
got
know, in
government
terms of chasing
people.
things, you know, here in South Africa, we still have to pay for our TV license.
Oh, same here.
And 265 Rand is not a lot of money, but don't pay that.
Jeez.
They will spend thousands to try and recover their $265 from you.
Well, they've got to set a precedence to force
Mm.
people into thinking they have to pay it.
And yeah, so you know, in terms of chasing things, sometimes logic doesn't come into that whole concept of is it worth it to chase up the money kind of thing. Yeah. So I mean, here in
Who's
South
the
Africa,
beneficiary of that license money?
SABC.
Is it just SABC?
Yeah, I think it's
SABC,
just
yeah.
SABC.
So if you don't watch, this is the debate we have here.
Yeah.
If you don't watch SABC, why should you pay your TV license?
No, exactly. And like,
Because it's the right thing to do. Sorry, I had to. If I had a mic, I'd drop it now.
dunk. Oh my word. Oh my word.
But like just going back, Lester, it's like that's hectic, man. It's in terms of like the increase is quite substantial, and obviously it's increased not just for gas but for electricity, and obviously the petrol price is not looking like it's still
that
climbing,
is going up as well. Yeah.
still climbing. So it reflects on the cost of transportation of food. The cost of food is rising. So what an interesting article I read. So the rationale, like because that cost of food is being reflected internationally, right? So I've just read an interesting article. It was actually a mining article, right? And do you know what 20% of potash used for fertilizer comes from?
Go on.
From the coal power stations or something.
No.
Oh.
It's like country.
Oh, which country? I don't know. China.
Comes from Belarus.
Oh.
Do you know that Belarus is currently under sanctions by European Union, United States, and obviously United Kingdom? So basically, that's 20% of the global supply of potash. So there's a shortage of fertilizer on the market, and everyone's and like Asian markets willing to pay a premium. So the price jumped up by like more than 50%. That obviously is going to trickle down into the cost.
Like food prices.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but they pushing up the interest rates here in South Africa.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so it's gone up by 0.5% in the last couple of months.
Same here.
It's actually it was
0.5%,
0.5% all at once. We had like they generally would increase, like if they would generally increase by a quarter of base.
Yeah, so 25 basis points or 50 basis points. So,
Yeah.
But the last one was 25 basis points.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
And the previous one was also 25%.
Okay.
25 basis points. So in the last two monetary council meetings, whatever they call themselves, got together, in the last two meetings, they've increased it by 0.5%.
Okay. Leicester in UK?
It's gone up 0.5%.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, and I mean, the whole idea there is inflation control.
Yeah.
They start pushing up the interest rate to curb inflation. So I mean that goes to what you're talking about with food costs and all that kind of stuff starting to go up. Inflation is then being reflected.
So what is your interest rate?
I think the repo rate is. Geez, Oleg, you're gonna have to help me out here. I think it's like 9.
I think it's 9%.
9% or something. Well, that's the current repo rate, I think. Or I think maybe the prime is 9% or something.
The prime is 9%, but the repo rate is
6.5 or something.
No, 3.75.
Huh?
3.75.
Jeez, how can there be such a big difference between the prime rate and the repo rate?
Hey, somebody's making money
It's
somewhere.
normally 2%.
No. It's more than 2%, dude.
Mother of fluffer.
Somebody's making money.
This sounds like the taxes on our fuel. Like the taxes just keep on getting bigger and bigger, and the fuel price just never seems to go down. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's it. So 3.75% per annum.
Actually, well, that was the old news. That was from January, but from the news from the end of January, because they raised it by 25 basis points, it's now 4%.
I see that. Yeah, on the 4th of the 4th of February. It's wow. Okay.
But I don't think it's gonna stop here. I think I think we've reached that stage where we had like a low interest rate. Now it's just gonna keep on climbing because they will try to do whatever they can to control inflation. So I don't discount that. Like by the end of the year, we're gonna be sitting on 5%.
Yeah. Hectic, man. Hectic.
Yeah.
So we're moving because it was point. We call it the Bank of England interest rate, which applies to savings and lending rates. So it's been 0.1% since the pandemic started, pretty much. And it went up by a quarter to 2.25% in January, so last month.
Yes.
And now it's about to go again. So yeah, this is the lowest it's been for many, many years. I mean, even through through the bank crisis of 2008, I think we went low then, but I don't know if it was 0.1%. I mean, 0.1% is like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's
I mean, people might disagree because it's obviously, if you've got a mortgage, it makes a big difference if it's low. But if you're trying to save, the banks aren't giving you anything. There's no savings. So it can't. It's a relief, but it can't sustain itself because we do need interest rates to generate to contain the overall inflation rate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So do you also think that it's going to increase, like, going forward?
Yeah.
So you don't think this is like the ceiling of how far they're going to push it?
If I go back to 2000, I'm just looking at the stats here. 2008, we were at 5%. Now we're at 0.25. 0.5.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the interest rate in South Africa was in 2008.
Yeah, 30 years ago was 10%.
Yeah.
So our mortgage interest rate is 0.5%, guys.
Yeah, so the repo rate in South Africa on the 11th of the 4th, 2008 was 11.5%.
Yeah.
And the prime rate was 15.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Wow. Interesting. So,
Okay.
I mean, you saw the link I sent through during the week to do with the comparison they did between the two BMW X, I suppose X5 and XI. So basically the same car, but the one's electric and the other one's combustion engine.
Are you talking about the trip to Cape Town?
Yeah,
electric
that's
versus
it.
petrol cost.
Yeah, yeah. So the interesting thing here is if you're looking at the electric versus the petrol, it turns out that the electric, in terms of running costs, is cheaper. Here they're saying rand per kilometer for the electric vehicle is R1.57, and for the petrol was 1.84. And yeah, so they said like the total cost from Joburg to Cape Town is 2,198 Rand versus 2,576 for the petrol. But then they've also got one here that says costs from Johannesburg to Cape Town, starting with fully charged and fully filled. And I don't know what the difference there is. The electric vehicles.
I think it's cheaper to charge at home than on the highway.
Possibly, yeah. And then it's 1,862 versus 2,576 for the petrol. But the cost difference between the two cars is that the electric vehicle is 2.1 million Rand and the petrol one is 1.9. It's 187. So it's about what, 300,000 Rand difference between the two.
Yeah.
They were saying that you can charge your vehicle for free at any BMW dealership.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So what are your thoughts?
Has anyone got a stat on how many dealerships have 24/7 electric chargers?
Yeah, I
Look,
suppose 24/7 is the big question. Eh?
Look, it's not practical to go chill at the BMW service station or a dealership for like half an hour to charge your vehicle. It's just not practical. Even if you have a nice vehicle like the X-Drive 50. I mean, I'm pretty surprised. I mean, they could have picked maybe like 2 low-key cars. I mean,
What, like the Toyota
yeah,
Corolla?
like take a Prius and take an electric vehicle and just compare the two, right? And it's like,
Well, I suppose you can do it with the Corolla
Like-
because they brought out the Corolla Cross hybrid. Is
Yeah.
that a hybrid or is that a fully electric?
I think it's a hybrid.
Yeah, I wonder
I think it's a hybrid.
let's
but it's
just see
like
a Toyota.
You're looking at the two vehicles which are most likely going to be purchased by like 0.01% of the African population, right?
Sure.
So it's like let's compare the fuel efficiency of Lamborghini versus the Porsche, on the track, and let's just publish an article. And it's like, who cares, dude? Like, people who buy this car can't afford both, the charging and the fuel. That's not a problem, man.
Yeah.
It's like we're not trying to. It would be cool if they actually did a meaningful comparison in terms of like, I don't know, took a Nissan Leaf, right, and a Prius, and just compared, the two. Not around the track. I'm talking about like trip to Cape Town.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Anyway, I suppose it's all
I
relative.
suppose the comparison needs an apples with apples comparison, right? So it's not just weighing up whether any electric vehicle is going to be better, because some are obviously heavier than others and therefore drain power faster. So the bigger your car, the more it drains and has less range.
But I suppose it's if you're going to do a comparison, would it be best? It's best to do it with. I've got 2 cars. They're made by the same manufacturer. It's the same model. The one's petrol and the other one's electric. Isn't that the best way to do the comparison?
Yeah, so I think I like the way they've done it.
Yeah.
It may not be the car that everyone could afford to buy. So
I like
from
how
that
you say
perspective,
everyone.
Is it a public announcement?
I like how you say everyone. It's not. Let's just say a very, 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 very small percentage of population.
The other thing in that article was there was a link to a map with all the charging stations,
Okay.
and there's not enough, right? So they were doing this little theory about driving on the motorway, which has service stations with rapid charge facilities all the way between, what was that, the N1, between Joburg and Cape Town. Fine. What if you're going somewhere else?
Yeah.
What if everyone's needing to use those charging stations? For
True.
me, it's a good comparison. So it's a point in time going, with the technology we have available today, the cost of power today, this is the reality, okay, between the petrol and electric. So as much as you might want to go green, consider the challenges that come with that. And this is a point in time. So if we did the same thing in 10 years' time as technology moves on, it's going to be a different number. But I think the other factors need to come into play. They have to stop 3 times between Joburg and Cape Town to recharge on the electric side. You've got a queue for that. It's not just a quick throw a nozzle in and in 2 minutes you've filled up your tank.
Yeah, true.
For a full charge, it takes a long time. For a quick top-up charge, which gives you 70, 80% or whatever it is a lot shorter, but it's still a long time. So because it's a long time, if there's a lot of electric cars needing to do the same trip, they're going to be queuing. And then you're going to think, well, hang on, this is the real world. This is a public use facility. Someone's going to break the bloody thing.
Yeah.
Which means there's less of these available. Oh man, it's still high risk.
But the other thing that I find kind of interesting is when you're looking at that when you go to the BMW website, they've got this almost like this long range, distance range of their vehicles, and they've got almost like a calculator, and then they'll show you, okay, well, what's the range, and as the temperature rises, okay, the distance drops. So now, can you imagine? Now you're on the N1, and you leave Colesberg fully charged, and you're on your way to Cape Town, and now you start driving through the Karoo, and you're getting closer to Laingsburg, And when you thought, okay, well, how far am I going to be able to get? Oh, I'll be able to get like 450 Ks. And as the temperature rises, it goes from 20 to 25 to 30 degrees. And then, like in the Karoo, you can get up to like 35 degrees. And all of a sudden, like you've lost 100 Ks worth of range.
In the Karoo, you can get up to like 40 degrees pretty
No,
easily.
no, true. The only problem is their
Take the
website
road
only goes up
temperature
to
as well.
35. The BMW website only does the calculation up to 35 degrees.
Actually, I'll correct myself. In the Karoo in summer, it can easily go up to 45.
Yeah.
And we're talking road temperatures now as well.
Well, I
Yeah.
would imagine, like, what temperature are we talking? Is that outside temperature, or is that the temperature that the car is experiencing that's like now low,
It's
like
got
you
to
say?
be car experiencing.
Yes.
Well, just open your windows and don't
And
use your aircon.
yeah. Well, if you turn your aircon off at 35 degrees, you get 475 kilometers range. But if you turn your aircon on, you only get 370.
In fact, if you open the windows when you're driving, that's more drag. So therefore, you're screwed either way.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Crazy, man. Crazy.
I'm intrigued by it all.
Mm.
I didn't get from that article whether they'd factored in kinetic energy, because you are
Like
generating.
Recovering the kinetic energy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do these cars have built-in recovery systems? I haven't checked.
That's a good question. I would suggest some of them probably do, because a lot of the hybrids do as well, right?
Yeah, not all of them, but it's generally the high-end vehicles that have got the recovery systems. So, like for instance, like the Porsche 918, which is their hybrid car, it has recovery. So, like from braking and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they're like normal. Okay, so we were talking about Porsches now. Let's talk about Toyotas. I don't know if the Toyotas have recovery systems. But I would imagine that only is going to add to the price of the car. And also weight and...
Well, I think it might be if it's a thing about running costs, this will be an angle that everybody will work on, and it'll still soon become a standard feature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see quickly if this thing's got any sort of recovery. Well, I mean, geez, love this. Love this. Let's talk about it. So we were talking about the X-Drive 50, which is the electric one.
Yeah.
Let's just see. Acceleration, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. You want to guess what it is? Don't Google it.
2
No.
seconds.
No.
Well, it's a 5-liter engine, right?
No, well, remember, this is the electric. It's not 5-liter engine. It's
Okay,
whatever
sorry.
electric they are.
Sorry, the electric one. The electric one is not going to be. It's going to have more torque than the petrol one.
Yeah.
So it most likely 0 to 100
Yeah.
below 6 seconds
Yeah, below 6 seconds.
for sure.
4.6. That's pretty.
You're getting
dope,
into the super bike category.
Yeah.
I still think that's slow.
Well, but remember, it's a big vehicle, right?
Yeah, but okay. All electric vehicles are big and heavy.
Yeah, but
Some bigger than others, but it's still heavy and big.
Yeah, so let's
But
see
the rate of acceleration is still massive.
Yeah, so this thing is. I just want to see what its weight is. Unladen weight is 2.5 tons.
Yeah.
With the maximum permissible weight in kilograms, it's 3.1 tons. Right. So let's call it 2.5 tons. Yeah. I mean, what's a Tesla Plaid weight? Because this Tesla Plaid. Oh God! Now they give it to me in freaking pounds. Well, how's
But
your
that's
math?
okay.
How's your math?
We can just convert it.
Pounds to kilogram. I mean, okay, so if I put 1 pound in there, okay, it weighs 2.1. So pretty close, 400 kilograms difference, okay. And I mean, what's the Tesla played acceleration 0 to 100? 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
That's
Yes.
my category.
Yeah,
That's-
so yes, Lester, you are 100% correct. Yeah, damn, that is slow. It's yeah.
In a
it's-
drag race, the race will be over before the guys got to 20 meters.
Guys, but that's insane. I mean, it's like your reaction speed is not that quick. You need an automatic driving for that.
What for 2.1?
Well, it is in
Yeah.
berserk mode already, right?
Yeah.
What
Have you
does-
watched?
What mode does Tesla Plate actually have? It's got like a monster mode or an
Hooligan
insane
or
mode.
something? Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know. Let's see.
It's
Yeah,
berserk
Tesla played. Is it berserk mode? Modes.
I haven't been in a Tesla in over 2 years.
Jeez, at least you've been in a Tesla.
Well, if you go to Amsterdam and you're going to catch a taxi from the airport, it's invariably a Tesla.
Wow.
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 It's got track mode. What else has it got?
Ludicrous, was it?
Ludicrous.
That's it.
Yeah,
Ludicrous.
that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Ludicrous mode.
Sure. Hectic, dude. But I mean, have you watched those videos? So you know Ken Block, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's got that. Twin turbo Mustang. That
Mustang, yeah.
So they've got a couple of videos where they put different cars up against that Mustang,
Mm-hmm.
and so they put the Tesla Plaid up against. I think it was actually another car. It wasn't the Mustang. But I mean, it like almost smokes it. Like it's
Serious?
yeah. I mean, it's this like family vehicle. You know,
It's a
the
family
Tesla
car.
it's family car, and it just drops pretty much anything that you put up against it. I mean, it's just insane.
That's crazy.
And
That's
I see
crazy.
Tesla's working on a hypercar. I mean, like as if the Tesla Plaid is not good enough. They're working on a hypercar. I mean, I don't know what they expect the hypercar is going to do.
Dude, but that's just crazy, man. It's like
Yeah.
crazy speed, man. It's like I'll be fine with like normal 0 to 100, like 10 seconds. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Because if you can do like a 0 to 100 in 10 seconds, that's fine. It's like nobody is gonna set speed records, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, let's put this in context. So yes, it's got that acceleration that is ludicrous. But in that mode, your full tank of battery life is gone.
Yeah, fair
in
enough.
like
yeah.
it's gone
Absolutely.
in like a few Ks.
Look, I mean, imagine. I'm assuming the same thing would be in the BMW as well. If you're flooring it like that, I mean, you're not gonna make it anywhere, you know. Anyway, yeah. So, anything else pressing, or has Lester got some interesting info for us on?
Do you guys know that we currently, well, there was a Chinese New Year this week, and we entered Year of the Tiger.
Oh.
Yeah, it needs some walk-on theme music.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
No, that's
right?
not it.
No.
Comp.
No.
Though the attitude of meditation.
No.
Oh, that is funny.
I'm trying to find something that's this.
Oh, that is just so funny.
No. I'm trying to find something.
Okay, I think we're ruining the Year of the Tiger.
I thought I had Eye of the Tiger loaded up somewhere.
Hey, we killed it.
Yeah,
man.
I
Killed
mean
it.
that's
Sorry.
probably more appropriate for this time next year when we move into the Year of the Rabbit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. In the eye of the tiger is the rabbit. Yeah. So, I mean, what does that mean? We're going into the year of the tiger. Is it a good thing
I
or
don't
bad
know,
thing?
man. No, it sounds scary, man.
Sounds scary.
It's like I don't know what it means. Lester, any comments?
No. I did know something. I got chatting to someone years ago about the differences in years because it always intrigued me. You had some beast of an animal like a tiger and a dragon, and then another year you could be a rat. So, why? What's the significance? Are these superpowers? Are we talking like the rat in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of But I think those zodiac animals are probably worth a revisit at some point. But Eye of the Tiger, Year of the Tiger, welcome. We're moving out of the Year of the Ox, so McDonald's can pull away from all its advertising. Yeah. What happened today in history is quite a quiet time of year. On this day in 1969, the US population reached 200 million. 1969.
Wow,
Considering
that's
a lot of growth.
That's amazing.
Is that after the war, baby boom?
Yeah, probably. There was a big baby boom in the late 40s, early 50s.
So where do you think they sit now at the moment in terms of population?
What, the US population?
Yeah, US population. So it was 200,000 in 69. What do you think it is in 2021?
I think it's over 380 million.
300 and something.
Yeah.
330?
Yep, that's it. 331. 331.
That's huge, dude. It's not as big as like China or India, but it's still pretty big. It's like Europe, I think. Isn't Europe, like Western Europe, is sitting at about like 300 and something million?
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Probably. I would say so.
So,
Google search. So yeah,
I'm just having a look here. So the US population, the question is the US population increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Okay.
Even with the death rate of COVID.
Yeah, so the population growth has been trending lower in the US since 2016 due to decreasing fertility and migration and increasing mortality among an aging population. Since April 1st, oh God, this is an April Fool's thing, 2020, the nation's total population increased from 331.4 to 331.8. Okay, so it is going up again a little bit. But not by much.
Not much in it though.
Yeah, anyways.
Okay, just France, 65 million, UK knocking on 70 million, Italy, 60 million, Germany is 85 million, Spain, 46. So it's actually a lot bigger. Oh no, so what are we saying? About the same size. Western Europe is about the same size population as the US.
Yeah. So the total European population, including like all the Eastern European countries and Russia, is about 750 million.
Sure.
Well, Russia's about 150 odd million.
Yeah.
On its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite a densely populated region, and I mean, obviously Russia is a big place, but if you take Europe into account, Europe is actually smaller than the United States if you compare area. So there's higher population density in Europe than in the US.
So what I find rather interesting, I found this website is called the Population Clock, and it's got a
what is that?
live feed of what the population is doing, how it's increasing, and it says here in the US, one birth every 9 seconds, one death every 10 seconds, one international migrant every 118 seconds, and a net gain of one person every 37 seconds.
So migration is out or in?
Yeah.
So in this case, it's in. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's a birth every 9 seconds, and then there's a death every 10 seconds. And then, so there must be quite a bit of migration to the US then. Because every 30 seconds they've got one more person. Interesting. So yeah, so the total world population is 7.8 billion.
So when is it projected to cross 10 billion mark?
I'm
Next
actually
week
not too
Thursday,
sure. Next week
3:30 in the
Thursday.
afternoon.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
All right,
moving on,
birthdays.
moving
Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar both have their birthday today.
on.
7 years different for those football fans out there. On this day, the world's largest Jello was made.
Jeez.
And it was a watermelon flavored jelly, and it was done in 1981. And it was, and this is old school money, 9,246 gallons.
Sure.
Was that in real money? Let's work that out quickly. 9,000, what did I say? 246. You ready for this? The world's biggest Jello is 42,000 liters.
Sure.
That's big.
I wonder how they
And,
mixed that. And I mean, obviously you got to, did they do it in stages? Did they make it in stages, or did they make it at once? Because Jello is obviously going to have to set, right? Or what?
And the other thing I'm going to say, because normally you put it in the refrigeration to set, right? This was done in Brisbane, Australia, in a summery time of year. So there's got to be something constructed to be able to do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Other than that, there's a few famous people that have died, but let's not go into that. This month, so February 4th, yesterday, the entertainer Liberace, do you remember him with all the makeup and rings and flamboyant frills?
Mm-hmm.
So he died on this day, yesterday. Considering how he used to mince about, he always denied that he was gay. And maybe it's an 80s thing.
You serious?
Yeah.
So he went to his grave insisting he was not gay, which is intriguing. But he did die from AIDS. So we'll never know. But I think it was a different era then. There was a lot more focus on that. And it wasn't as...
So when did he die? In what year? 82?
Yesterday, 1987.
87. Okay. Wow. And then the guy from Queen, he was what, 91, right? Freddie Mercury.
Mercury, yeah.
He was 91, I think.
Same. It was very much that stigma at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I didn't get time to look into this properly, but there was a 2,000-year-old glass treasure, antique, from Greece, I think it was, or Roman times, must have been. It was this ornate vase, and it was shattered by a drunk in the British Museum.
When did that happen?
1845.
Yeah.
I mean, drinking for breakfast was quite common then.
Yeah,
we go to the museum today. I'm going to have an extra pint with breakfast.
I hope they didn't like start throwing like antique, you know, like
start juggling vases.
That would be funny, having a little kickoff. You accidentally bump into someone because you're drunk and you go, and they go, hey, don't touch me. Is it? Come. And then you start throwing stuff, whatever's to hand.
Can you imagine that?
Sarcophagus.
Hey, well,
Okay, that's
right.
enough.
So, yeah. No, it's getting to that point, dude. Yeah.
All
So,
right, guys. Well,
well,
this is it.
another successful episode, I would imagine. I'll get my shit together and get my color right. I'll put up more makeup next time.
So, Oleg,
Dude,
you have
like,
to you have to go around to Andrew's next week.
yeah, for sure. But like, Andrew, why are you looking so pale, dude?
Yeah, and I'm not feeling so well. I might have COVID.
So now
No,
I'm
you
looking at
joking,
him.
dude.
He's not grey. He's now just more pale.
No, but like, are you okay?
Yeah,
Like,
of course
seriously?
I'm okay, man. When am I never okay?
No, but you're looking seriously pale, or is that the camera?
It's
No, it's the camera, man.
Okay.
Well, while we're
No,
on,
your car is still red.
yeah,
Your
my
blue car
car.
is definitely red.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, I
Was it
mean,
green?
I can try and adjust it for you while we're here. You know, so you can actually. How do I do this again? Right click, filters, color correction. No, wrong one.
No, that's not it.
Oh,
Saturation.
what a contrast. There we go.
Hey, look at that!
Now
I got
you
a
can
red
tuck your
nose.
pin.
Check.
I think that looks more representative.
Yeah, dude, I've had a lot to drink. Eh?
Hey, that's been a long day.
My blue car is a lot redder than it was 5 minutes ago.
Jeez, it looks like a fire engine.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't know what's happened here. The hue shift. Oh, look at that! I've got a purple car.
You should have gone with that all along.
Oh.
I think that is just so much better.
Green
There's
car.
the green car.
Green car.
Perfect. Green with envy. Look at him.
Oh shit!
But that's a nice type of green, Andrew. That's like,
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
You need to watch that sun, man. It's harsh.
Oh, very, very, very harsh.
no, but have you spent a lot of time on the sun this week, Andrew?
No. But I don't go red when I'm in the sun, dude. I go brown.
Okay.
Yeah. But I must tell you, I did get burnt in Cape Town, dude. You don't understand what the sun's like in Cape Town.
Dude, but it was also like you went there during the hottest time of the year. So it was most likely like really rough. Plus it was hot.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
also
so-
the thing is that their UV exposure is very, very high there. Or the UV, what do they call it? UV
Intensity.
intensity, yeah. It's
Yeah.
very, very high up there because I've got a UV thing on my watch that tells me what the UV level is, and you know, like in Joburg it's like high, but in Cape Town it's like it goes
Ludicrous.
out. Like, yeah, it's like ludicrous. Yeah, it's like maxes out on my watch.
It starts melting your watch.
Yeah, and then my watch starts trying to hide away.
Dude, but isn't that unusual weather for Cape Town?
No, it's not about the weather. I think it's got something to do. Many, many years ago, they used to talk about the ozone layer, and
Yep.
the hole in the ozone layer apparently used to be above sort of Cape Town. And
It's now
You
shifted
serious?
to New Zealand.
yeah, I think it's shifted to New Zealand. But definitely the UV. Definitely when I go there, I can feel that I'm getting
But
burnt.
it's also to do with pollution and the quality of air and how much that filters.
Yeah, possibly. But it's definitely dangerous there. You don't mess around there, boy. You don't not put sun cream on.
It's the reflection of the sand
Yeah,
in the
so-
sea.
Sand
But don't you
blindness.
like in Cape Town? Don't you have like a cool, cool breeze coming from the Atlantic? So
Not
it's like
always.
not always.
Yeah, and remember, like where I'm staying with my folks, there's no breeze from the Atlantic directly. I suppose you
Yeah.
could say there is, but you know, Fishhook is quite far. Not far, but I mean, it's quite a way from the Atlantic. But definitely, there was a cool breeze when we were down there. There was a cool breeze coming off the sort of Indian Ocean. But remember, I don't know if I told you, but the temperature was like 16.5 degrees. The water
that's
on the
hectic.
Indian Ocean side, and I mean that's pretty cold. I don't think I've
It's
ever
very cold.
swam in you know at that time of the year, that kind of temperature at Fishhook.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
Dude, that's extremely cold. But weren't you telling me that when you went to what's the name of
Camps
that
Bay.
beach? Camps Bay Beach. It was
Clifton,
like
Clifton.
Clifton. Yeah, it was extremely warm, and that was
Well,
like really
it was-
unusual.
Well, it was also 16.5 degrees, which, I mean, look, I don't know what the temperatures are doing during the year or whatever, but I mean, the times that I've been there previously let's call it, it's always December, put it that way. I've swum in like 12 or 13 degree water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see Lester smiling because it was him and I at one stage that went there and tested out the water.
It was a very quick test.
Do you remember? Maybe this is something we talk about offline, so we'll talk about it offline. Anyway, let's wrap it up.
And on that bombshell.
Yeah, on that
Bombshell. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Have an awesome
If you want to
weekend.
know what we're going to talk about now, you need to subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah,
Get
you need to
behind
donate
the
to the
scenes.
Patreon account.
Yeah. $5 a month. You can hear.
Get a free T-shirt.
Yeah, you can
Free
listen
t-shirt.
to the half an hour chat after the episode.
That's when we talk about the most.
Yeah, that's
stuff.
that's when we actually
I mean,
talk
that's the
about the shit.
premium edition, right?
Yeah, that's the premium edition. Yeah. And unfortunately, you got to pay for that.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.